What are the positives and negatives of starting your business solo? Well, I'm going to share that with you today. My name is Huang. I'm an occupational therapist and certified hand therapist. Started my therapy clinic over 11 years ago. And then, because I wasn't busy enough, started Hand Therapy Secrets about 4 years ago. And I started solo. So I'm going to share with you some of the positives and negatives of what I've seen over the last over 10 years. So I started solo because I am someone who needs a certain amount of control, right? So the positives are that I was 100% the person who made decisions, right? I'm 100% decision maker here. I have 100% creative control over everything that I do. And I have 100% financial control over everything I've earned, everything I've done with the revenue, the profits. So those are really the biggest things when it comes to starting on your own. So those are all positives because at the end of the day, you can go faster. And when I started my business, I was like, I need a space. I need to buy X, Y, and Z. I have, this much money. What am I going to do with it? So I didn't waste time going back and forth with like a partner. Now, granted, I am married, so I spoke with my husband. What did support look like? From a financial standpoint, from a family standpoint, things like that. So I had those types of discussions. But really, when it came to opening my business, how much I charge, what the hours I was going to be working, those were all 100% me. And I really liked it. And even looking back, even when I started Hand Therapy Secrets, I did think, do I want a partner for this? Do I want to make it more than hand therapy? By the time I started my second business, I I could have sought out a partner and shared in the responsibility. But I do value being able to go fast. I do value being able to have the full, the full decision making power, and all that those are positives for. They're also the negatives, right? So you have full decision making control. So if you can't make a decision, it's your fault, right? If I can't make a decision, if I have made the wrong decision, it's my fault. There's no one to blame. And those are good things as well as bad things, right? Because when you have control, you can make changes. When you don't have control, like because of the other person, you don't have, yeah, you can blame them, but how is that going to change anything, right? So you everything that's positive is also are also the challenges. You have full creative control. So when you have full creative control, if you get stuck, you can't, you feel like you're not able to be creative, or you're in a quote unquote dry spell of sorts. It's 100% up to you to fix that. And so everything that is positive is also negative. Like, there's this saying I heard a while ago, the things that help you are also the things that hurt you, right? So having full decision making control helps you because you can go faster, but it can also hurt you at some point too. So you have to realize and you have to balance those things out. But those are, pretty much some of the positives and challenges of starting a business solo. I have seen other businesses that have taken on partners. I've seen them fail and I've seen them be successful. And I'm going to share that in a different video. Um, but in my case, I think I decided, to start solo and not look for a partner. and also not look at my husband as a partner. And I'll tell you, it comes from personal experience. My mom had her own business, and then she was doing so well that she got my father to join her. And I think that that makes a really challenging um, marriage. And then you can't escape each other because you have your business together and your marriage together and your kids together. And I didn't see a lot of positives in that. So in terms of, when I started my business, I there were times when I asked my husband to do things for me. So for example, when I started my business, I needed a website. Like I felt like I needed a website and I didn't want to spend the money on a website. Like you guys might be doing it too. You feel broke, you feel poor, so you start coming from that mindset of like poverty and like I got to save every nickel and dime, right? And that can hurt you. That can hurt your business and that can hurt how fast or slow you grow. So I started with like asking him to build my website because he knew how to do a website. He's a freaking IT guy. So all the IT people are like, we're not all the same. But I asked him, he said, yeah, he could build it for me. Then I'm like, what, when the fuck are you going to build this shit? So then it became this thing where he was building it, but he wasn't building it. And so I'm like waiting on this website. I'm like, I can't do X, Y, and Z. So he built me kind of like this frame and didn't look good, but I lost like, I want to say I lost like 2 years from him, like me trying to be like, can you build my website so I can save a couple of $1,000? I could have made, like, if I have the mindset, if I had the mindset that I have now back then, I would have come out the gate 6 months making that money. I would have put that shit into a website right away. I didn't think like that. So I was thinking that, I didn't know how to utilize the website. I didn't know how to make my website work for me. So I ended up waiting 2 years. Again, 100% decision making control. And it was a mistake and it was my fault because I couldn't push it on someone who, technically wasn't getting paid either, and money is a exchange of energy. Money is an exchange of energy. I was trying to get the man to work at night. I was trying to get the man to work on the weekends, right? No pay because I wasn't getting paid. So because I wasn't getting paid, I was like, you can't get paid either. So who is driven to do that, right? So he and websites, to all his credit, websites were not his thing. He's actually a software developer and business intelligence person. So yes, does he have a certain understanding of marketing or whatever, but for a ginormous corporation, within a particular niche, right? So it's not like, he built websites all day and he knew what to consider from a small business standpoint. Small business, big business, some things are similar, but so many things to get you started are completely different. And you have to take those things into consideration. And I didn't know any better. And this is one of the reasons why I'm sharing with you some of the positives and challenges. So, I had full decision making control and I tried to get him and I'm gonna share with you a little secret. I'm gonna share with you a little secret. Sometimes you learn a lesson back then, but you're bound to repeat yourself. I promise you're bound to repeat yourself. So you have to learn awareness so that you don't start to repeat them and stay in them too long. So I had him start to build my website. Anyway, 2 years later, I'm like, dude, what the fuck is my website? And I said, you know what? Forget you. I'm gonna go spend my money on a website. So I dropped $5,000. At that time, it was huge. Nowadays, $5,000 is nothing for a website, right? But I built a website. I went with a company that again did websites for bigger brands. I don't recommend that either. I'm sharing with you a lot of mistakes so that you can make different ones, or it can help to inform you to make better decisions, right? I went with a website company that I met through a BNI group, and they made a beautiful websites. Design wise, they were beautiful, but because I didn't know how my website needed to function for a small business, it didn't work for me. It didn't make me money. And your website's supposed to make you money, right? So there's the design and then there's the functionality of a website, and you have to understand the two. And a lot of times when you're starting solo, you don't know what you don't know. And so part of it are the mistakes that you make, but you have full 100% control. And so on certain things you can go faster, and other things you might make mistakes, but you essentially you learn them and you turn those decisions around. And I think to a certain extent you got no one to blame. You're not going to be slowed down by pointing fingers. You're not going to be slowed down by, okay, we have to have a meeting and let's discuss the shit out of this, right? So yeah, those are some of the positives and challenges of starting a business solo. I can honestly tell you that I love it solo. I started my therapy clinic solo. I started my hand therapy secrets, where you're watching this 4 years ago, actually probably longer. But officially, I think officially I did the S Corp thing around 4 years ago. But before then I was already gearing it up. So probably like a year before I started I created the S Corp, I started it solo. And I was having do I try to find a partner? To either help with the burden, or with the burden of work, or the burden of the financial responsibilities. So I decided to go solo. I decided to do that solo, and then I started a third business. It's actually my property business, and I could have gone in there with other partners as well, buying a piece of property, turning it into a rental business. And I have plans for that. But I could have started that with other people, and I can still consider different projects with other people. But that property that I have is more of it like the whole point is to make money off of it, but it's also a lifestyle. I bought a beachfront property, a little condo in a small town, like literally right on the water. And I could have gotten a partner. I could have been like, oh, divide the responsibilities, share it. But I decided, I'm just going to do that myself as well. And that way I have full decision making capabilities. Purchase it, put the down payment, got it fixed, pick the paint color, pick everything. And yeah, so if it makes money, I get the credit. If it doesn't make money, I get the credit. But it just allows me more financial, more creative, and more decision making control. And I think that you have to look at your personality, and you have to look at what you ultimately want, and make your decisions on whether going into business solo or finding a partner is smart for you. I will tell you that one of the things that I see in people who decide they want a partner, it tends to come out of fear more than smart business decisions. And so I would encourage you, if you are starting solo, or you are getting a partner for your business, I want you to explore what that fear means to you, and how you're making decisions based off of that fear. All right? Because I don't want you to you don't like I think that when you make decisions based off of fear, um there's consequences to it, there's consequences to making decisions based out of fear. So, yeah, just take those things into consideration. And I'm gonna share another video where I'm talking about the things that I've seen in a partnered business and what to consider. I myself might not have done it, but I have seen it, I have lived it, and I think that it's important to take into consideration when you're getting a partner. All right. So those are my considerations, positives and negatives for solo. So I hope that that helps you. And if business tips for your OT business can help you to either start a business or grow a business, I'm going to include the link below so you can get on my OT Business Corner email list, and I will share more and more with you. All right. Peace out. Thanks. Talk to you soon.